Hello, everyone. I'm Connie from Chaos to Peace with Connie, and I'm today with Linda Binns, the energy breakthrough expert, and we want to
Hello.
talk about clutter and the holidays. What do you think about that title? It sounded to me a little bit like a Hallmark movie. Clutter and the holidays.
Yeah. As I'm looking at my table right now and I'm seeing wrapping paper and, stuff all over the table and I don't like it. I want to put it
Yeah.
all away.
Yeah, although I don't really consider that stuff as clutter because that is just like what happens when we're actually doing a project. We're having stuff around. It depends whether it's still laying there in February, then it's clutter.
That's the question. No, it's going tonight. Well, that's what I call active chaos
Yeah,
as opposed to passive chaos. So
exactly.
active chaos is like, let's say you're going to prepare a meal and you got all your ingredients out and the kitchen looks like, bombs hit it because you've got all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
If you just walked away after you've made your thing and left it like that, then it would become passive chaos because nothing's happening with it. It's just all there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're totally in agreement because I think too, it's like, it's not just clutter because like when you're working on something, then that's different. Yeah. But so I had several thoughts when I came up with that topic. And so one thought or topic that I wanted to talk about is like ornaments, Christmas decoration stuff and all that. And I actually have a blog post on my website. If somebody's interested, you can go look at it because I kind of say like there's only 3 good times to declutter and organize your seasonal decorations. And so the first good time is when you unpack it because you want to put it up. The second one is when you take it down and put it away. And I say the third one is actually, and we talk a lot about that, about awareness. The third one is actually during the holidays when that stuff is out. When you're in your home and you're walking around, how does this stuff make you feel? Like, for example, if there is something like you have a Christmas tree or you have a centerpiece on your table, and all of a sudden you notice that something doesn't make you feel good, that's a good moment to actually seriously letting go of it, like having a box somewhere ready with where you want to put it in. So this is the 3 times. So I often say, so ideally you do it when you're unpacking it and putting it up because, and this has a very, because I always like to help other people out too. So if you declutter it while you're putting the things up, and you put the things you realize, okay, no, they don't resonate with me anymore. You put them in a box and you bring them right away to a place. Then some other people can enjoy these holiday decorations, whether that's now Christmas like we have coming up now, or whether it's Easter, they can still enjoy it. So in my eyes, actually, it's the best time. But a really good time is literally during the holidays because you all of a sudden become aware that, oh, I thought I really love this, but I don't. So what do you think about that?
Oh, I think that's really true. And I think sometimes with decorations, as with anything else, we often tend to just keep them because we've had them a long time or because they were passed down to us. Maybe it's been in the family for ages, but that doesn't mean you particularly like it or want to keep it. And you might feel guilty. Oh, I need to put this out or I need to keep this, And I don't think we should ever hold on to anything we don't really love. But that you're right. That's the perfect time to let things go when you're getting them out because you haven't seen them for a year, and now you're getting them out and you're looking at it with fresh eyes again. So just check in with how do you feel about this particular thing?
Because we also have to remember we change. No, we're not staying the same person forever and ever. And especially with seasonal ornaments, like the things that we're only putting out because it's the season, it could also be like spring decoration, summer decoration or whatever. Like there's people that rotate. I rotate a little bit, not the whole house, but I have some pieces that come out in certain seasons. But we're getting older, we're developing ourselves, no? And so something that really spoke to us maybe 5 years ago may not really speak to us anymore. And I always say, like, there's nothing wrong with that. That just means like you got older, you developed. So and I feel like, why not give this then with a good feeling to some organization, or you give it away to somebody, or you put it for free on a platform or whatever, so that somebody else can enjoy it because they resonate with it right away, right now.
Absolutely. And just, check in with yourself whether you really need, if you put the same things out every single year, do you always want all of those things? I mean, sometimes you don't. I mean, I haven't put a tree up for a few years, but the reason for that is my cat eats it and then she gets sick. So no tree for us while we still have her. But that's a separate reason. But sometimes we do things just because we've always done them. And like you said, we're always changing, we're always growing. And so don't do things more consciously, do it with awareness, not just, oh, this is what I always do every year. Is this still a fit for me? Do I still treasure this? Do I still want to do this? Is this still resonating with me? And just be okay if it isn't, let it go.
Exactly. And if you're unsure, then you can put it up. And then the awareness comes during the holiday when you have it in your home and you're paying attention to it. I mean, ideally, if you're decorating your home, you're actually enjoying what you're having out, no? And so if you feel like, oh, this bothers me, or this is not right anymore, or this creates weird feelings inside of me, then that's definitely a sign that it might be time to let it go. And then you can have somewhere, maybe in a closet or so, a bag or a box where you can put it in. And then you can, with grace and with love, let it go to a different home, know?
Well, and also being very aware of the amount of space that you have, because if you're trying to, okay, it's now a holiday and I'm going to bring out all this stuff, that's holiday related stuff. Do you have the space for all of it? Do you need to put some things, normal everyday things, away so that you can have room for these things? Because so often people just add more stuff and cram things in. And it's the same when you're buying new things. There's the thing about, if you're going to buy some new decorations or something, are there other ones that you can let go of to make room for the new ones? And so there's so much around us. It's always tempting to buy things. We have some new neighbors across the street. This is their first year there, and they've been putting lots of lights out. So it seems like every weekend there'll be something new. There's lights, and then there's the reindeer on the lawn, and then there's the things in the windows, and it all looks really, really nice. And my husband was saying to me the other day, oh, those reindeer look very nice. Should we get a reindeer? And I said, yeah, but then you got to store it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I said, I like it. It looks really nice, actually, but I don't want to store it somewhere for the whole year and then have to get it out every year. I'm fine with what we have.
That is one of the issues we have, especially with like Christmas decorations and also Easter. Like I love my Easter decoration, but how many days or weeks is this stuff really on display, and the rest of the year you actually need to store it. And also, like, all these people who spend so much money on decoration that then maybe is out for 4 weeks if the item is lucky enough to be out for 4 weeks and be admired for 4 weeks. So there's a lot of thought that maybe helps if you put that thought into it before you just go out and buy a reindeer for the front lawn, which I would love to have, but I would probably have it out then all year. I don't know.
Well, I mean, and also thinking about the amount of storage space you have.
Yeah.
And, if I buy this thing, I've got to store it then. So especially if you like to have different things for the different seasons and bring different things out, always remember you've got to store those things. So you want to make sure they're stored away so you can easily find them, that they're organized, that the lights are not all in a big tangle and you can't get around, things like that, that just making it easier for yourself, really. It's not to say you can't have these things if you really love them, but think about where you're storing them, how you're storing them. Can you find them? Because that's often a big headache for people. Oh, it's this holiday. We've got to find the decorations. Where did we put them? What happened to that? So it can create a lot more stress and anxiety.
That's why I also say like the third best time to let go of some stuff is actually when you put it away. And because I also suggest that you're putting it away with you in mind in 11 months when you have to unpack it all again, It's like, instead of just throwing it all or dumping it all into some container or Rubbermaid or whatever you store your Christmas decoration or seasonal decorations in, think with you in mind when you have to unpack it again. And this is also a good point then to reflect again. Okay, did I even notice this thing when I had it up in my home? How did it make me feel? Is it past its prime in my house? Maybe it needs to move on or not. Do I really love it? Do I feel sad to put it away? So like I have, for example, some stuff that actually really feels sad to put away. Because I'm thinking like, now I'm not going to see it for another 11 months. So that's an indication that you really love it. So then, but then also put it away with care so that when you pull it out in 11 months or 10 months or however long, it's going to be put away. I always say like they have to go into hibernation. It's just a part of me. It's the part of where I say decluttering is self-love. It's the part of taking care of the items that you have and taking care of you and your future you so that actually your life is easier, like you said earlier.
Well, I would kind of throw in here the issue of expectations, especially if you're having people coming over to your house. I think there's often, we put these expectations on ourselves that things have to be perfect and things have to be a certain way. And people will often stress themselves out trying to make something perfect. It's like if somebody's coming to my house, I am no Martha Stewart. I am not, I think it's great when people have all, these beautiful decorations on the table and all these things that like in a magazine. That's wonderful, and that's not going to happen in my house because that's not me unless somebody else does it, but if your expectation is that you should be doing something like this for people, then that can create an awful amount of stress and anxiety for yourself as well. So
because after all, you live in your house and they're only there for a few hours, so it's actually like it needs to be right for you. Just like you said, that's not you. It's not me either. It's way more unique if you actually do it the way that is right for you, and you can surprise people with your way and with you. And it may become an interesting topic to talk about too, because it's not like they expected maybe. In a good way, it doesn't have to be in a bad way. It can be in a good way.
Or if that's really not your strength and you have someone coming over and it is their strength, they love to do that, then maybe you ask them to do that bit for you,
they can help you
instead of stressing yourself out. Like, oh, is this going to be good enough for people? You can just say, this is not my thing. It's your thing. Can you do it? Allow people to do the things that they're good at.
Yeah, and so this brings me actually into the other theme or a thought that I had around clutter and the holidays is the gift giving. And so I think it's beautiful to give somebody a gift or to receive a gift. But if we feel obligated to give a gift, or if we are so stressed out because of having to give a gift, that we're just like buying just something so we have something to bring, this is all creating so much clutter. First, it creates a lot of stress and emotional clutter and mental clutter in you having to run around and finding something. And then with this energy, you give this item that you just bought because you needed something. Like, that's what I hear a lot. Like, I just needed something, so I just bought something. And then you give it with this energy to this person. And then this person doesn't, most likely, if it's coming like this, doesn't really know what to do with it, or it ends up being clutter in their house, and then they may feel obligated to keep it because and then we're creating not just physical clutter, we're creating mental clutter and emotional clutter in several people. And and so again, like, do we, like, for example, in our family, we made the pact once that we don't have to give each other gifts. Like, if we see something that we know exactly, oh, this has the name of my, let's say, brother all over, then of course, but it's not like, okay, I just have to have something. I feel like this is the wrong energy to come from. And you're the energy expert, so let's talk about that.
Well, it is. I'm a big fan of wish lists, actually, because then you can actually put, you're getting something that the person wants. But one thing I always said to people is practice giving without attachment. So if you buy a gift for somebody, your hope, your wish, your desire is that they will love this gift and it will be just perfect for them, and they'll use it and they'll be very happy with it. That's your intention when you're buying it. But really, once you've bought it and you've given it to that person, it's none of your business what they do with it, because people have very strong attachments and expectations. I give you this gift and you're supposed to love it and you need to keep that. So if I give you a gift and you think, this does not go well in my house, I do not like this, that would actually be none of my business. I gave it to you with a good intention, but once you've received it, it's entirely up to you what you do with it. So for some people that can be very hard, especially in families, but if you practice giving without attachment, so once you've let the gift go, you let the gift go and you don't think about it anymore, you'll find that people are more likely energetically to reciprocate, so that there won't be that weight of expectation coming from other people to you as well. So if that happens to you, like family members giving you things and then they expect to see it in the house next time they come, and you don't like it, but you just bring it out every time they're coming over, this can help to break the cycle. If you practice giving without attachment, you can break the cycle of people doing that to you.
Yeah, that's exactly the other side that I wanted to address too, is like when you receive something that you totally don't like, that it creates a lot of clutter in you if you feel obligated to keep it. It creates physical clutter because you think, oh, I just put it in storage room or in the garage or wherever, the basement or in the closet or wherever. And your subconscious still knows that you have it. Your subconscious is like, there's a lot of clutter that comes out of just this one item, and most likely we have more than one item that doesn't fit in our life or doesn't fit in our life anymore, like we just talked about earlier with the ornaments. And so this is kind of like just things to be aware. And gift giving, like how I look at it is, it's the thought. I actually thought of you and I give this to you. And yes, like you said, the minute I give it, the process is complete for me because I gave it. I need to let it go. I can start practicing that by just, like you said, having no expectations. Then the process for me is over. The person who receives it, it starts with receiving it, no? And then actually thinking like, often we get it right and the person is all excited and then they keep it, and that's beautiful, but it has nothing to do with me. It's that person's experience, and then sometimes we don't nail it, to use that word. It's not a nice word. and the person is not too excited. But for that person, it doesn't make things better to keep it in your life if you don't like it.
No,
not at all. And so, yeah, so these are the themes that I feel like a lot of people are struggling now in these months. Like, their expectations to have the house a certain way, to give gifts, then maybe even the expectation to receive gifts. Like some people expect to get awesome gifts, and this is, it's a huge topic. I guess we could probably talk longer about it, but
yeah. Well, and then there's children, and the amount of things that children have now, and that was always a big thing whenever I was doing feng shui consultations. The amount of toys and things that children had, and it was just so much they couldn't possibly use it all, and that's the thing. Family buying them more and more and more gifts every year, and it's wonderful. You want to see the excitement of the children, but if there are things that they don't use anymore, then consider donating those. Some other children who perhaps can't afford it but could love those. And but I think it's about constantly keeping the energy moving. It's all about movement of energy, in my opinion, and not letting it become stagnant and keeping the energy flow going. And it's better for everyone in the house.
Yeah. And so we touched on it already a little bit, but so one thing that I feel like, and what I call is social clutter, which comes in with it. It's like feeling like we're having to entertain or host, which is not wrong. But then if we have all these expectations around how perfect it has to be, or who all we have to invite, and the other side of, I got an invitation, I have to go, even though it's maybe stresses me out and my calendar is already so full, and I have to actually should or want to use the time for me or for my family, and I feel obligated to go. So that is the third big topic I feel around the holidays, where people stress themselves out to no end.
I think that maybe changed a little bit with COVID, but not so many events and things, in-person events anyway. But I think for many people it has typically been a time of overwhelm because of all the things they have to do and all the things they have to go to and the time they don't have, so you're adding all of these things into an already busy schedule. And that definitely becomes social clutter, becomes very overwhelming.
Well, something I heard is because of COVID and because they haven't seen maybe each other last year, that the pressure is actually almost bigger if you do something. Like, you may not invite your neighbor down the road and everybody because of we all want to stay safe, but then you're inviting possibly your family that you haven't seen last year because of the restrictions, and this could create a lot of pressure to get it right, and they have to have it perfect because we missed out last year, or maybe even the year before we didn't last year.
Could be added pressure. Yeah, you're right.
It's just I feel yes, we want to enjoy the holidays, but with the emphasis on enjoy and not being so stressed out. And this is kind of what I see a lot when people are rushing around and stressing themselves out to make the holidays perfect or beautiful, and then it is not, because they stress themselves out so much. Well,
and I also encourage people to think about when you think, oh, I've got to do this, 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 or for the holidays, who's expecting you to do that? And usually it's you who's expecting you to do it, because For example, one person I was talking to was talking about, there was her husband, she has 3 boys, and she said, oh, we go to all this effort and none of them appreciate it. And what are they expecting it? You're doing it for you. Yeah. So either do it for you because you enjoy it, because they probably won't care if you didn't do it.
Especially if you feel they didn't appreciate it. Yes.
Right. So that's creating resentment there, and not a very good energy to be carrying around with you, and it affects all your relationships with your family. But when you're thinking about, because she would think, oh my, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. And I said, well, who's expecting you to do it? Whose expectation is it? And then she eventually realized, oh, well, it's mine. I'm the one saying I have to do it. So if you're the one saying I have to do it, you can also say, I don't have to do it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think we gave people some food for thoughts, and just be mindful of it, and ask yourself, who is expecting it, and is this really still valid in my life? And and stay aware, as always. Like we always come back to awareness.
Awareness is everything. I tell you, just conscious awareness. And I love self-inquiry. Is this still important to me? Do I still like this? Is this an expectation that's coming from me? Just sitting with those questions can really make a huge difference.
Yeah, totally. So thank you very much, Linda, for joining me. This is something that was really that I wanted to express and put out for people about the clutter and the holidays. And I'm so grateful that you were part of it and gave us your perspective.
Thank you. Maybe you could put you mentioned a blog post that you've done. Maybe you could put a link to the blog post in the comment, and then people can go directly to it.
Yeah. Well,
all right. Well, thank you. Fun as always chatting with you.
Likewise.
All right.
Take care. Next week.
See you next time. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.